Hey guys, this is John, and you are watching Religious Recovery Live. I'm just going to see to make sure that the video is going on Facebook. So I'm a couple minutes early right here, but we're going to get started. Let's see. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay. So, religious recovery, what is religious recovery? Well, religious recovery is a 12-step group. It's actually a 13-step group, but you understand what a 12-step group is. So basically, 12-step groups help people to recover from addiction to alcohol, recover from addiction to narcotics, recover from addiction to overeating. Religious recovery helps people to recover from either addiction to religion or from being hurt by religion or religious people. And we all know somebody who has been hurt by religion. Most of us, if we have been religious in our past, have been hurt by religion at some point. We tend to either hide those things and think, well, religion can't really hurt people. It's just something we got to deal with. Or we tend to think that we can get those taken care of within a religious context, and sometimes we can, and sometimes it just makes it worse. Religious recovery is not anti-religious in any way. In fact, many of us that are a part of religious recovery are finding a healthier form of religion and or spirituality that we can take a part in. And we truly find who it is that we are, and we truly find who it is that God is, or the divine, or the spirit, or whatever term that you want to use. So, in Religious Recovery Live, I have been reading from founder Wayne Holmes' book called Every Path Leads Home, Opening to Your Spiritual Journey. This is a wonderful book because it's nice and short and to the point. I highly recommend to get this book. It is on sale at Amazon. You could get it either the version that I've got right here in a physical copy, or you can get it in Kindle, either way at Amazon. So tonight I'm going to be reading two chapters. The chapters are short in this book. I'm going to be reading two chapters. Chapter 12 is called The 13 Stones. I read chapter 11, which is the 13 steps of religious recovery, last week. And then chapter 13 is called Saving Religion. Chapter 12, The 13 Stones. The 13 steps help us heal from the hurts, disappointments, and abuses of religion. As such, they deal with things that happened in the past. The 13 stones take us deeper into spirituality and deal with the present moment. Each stone begins with an active verb and may be used as affirmations. Stone 1. Assert. I assert that I am responsible for my own spiritual path. Taking responsibility for their own journeys may be new to some people. After all, religious leaders and organizations have told us what is right and wrong. In fact, some have screamed their messages at us and even tried to scare us into believing the way that they believe. If we don't agree with them, we are judged, condemned, and sentenced to an eternal hell. It's time to decide if we agree with their interpretation of the meaning of life, for that is what it is, their interpretation. They may mean well, but they promote the same beliefs that were sold to them, often without doing any thinking on their own. You may decide to agree with them, but you may not. Without considering other ideas and beliefs, how do we know that we've made the right choice? It is not our goal to convince anyone of the rightness or wrongness of any religion. It is our goal, however, to point out the need to be open to other forms of spirituality. You may find your present religious assembly to be unfulfilling. You may want to consider other beliefs, other customs, and other roads to the divine. You are in charge of the quality of your spiritual path. If you feel stagnant, maybe you've come to a dead end and it's time to branch out. Stone 2. Open. I partake of spiritual wisdom and knowledge from a variety of sources and open myself to different insights. Imagine trying to make a cake with a recipe calling for only one ingredient, flour. Stir flour until flaky, pour into a cake pan, and bake at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. I'm not much of a chef, but I know the result would definitely not be a cake. Some people treat their spiritual life in much the same manner, only one ingredient. But life is filled with many wonderful foods, and each has a unique taste. Imagine eating one food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, day after day, week after week, and year after year. Boring, yes, and not a healthy way to live. Stone 2 encourages us to partake of the different foods that world religions have to offer. Try a little bit of this. See if you like it. Try a little of that. Doesn't that taste good? Personally, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I try a variety of foods, but I usually come back to the basics of meat and potatoes. I was even a vegetarian for 7 years, although if I'm being honest with myself, I was more of a junkatarian. Yes, I gave up meat, but instead of replacing it with fruit and vegetables, I ate more junk food. We may experience a similar path with our spiritual practice. For a time, I gave up on Christianity. I tried other things, dabbled in this and that, but ultimately came back to Christianity, although with a different understanding. And I brought with me new spiritual foods from other sources that I discovered I liked very much. Christianity is still my meat and potatoes foundation, but my experience now encompasses a grander world menu. We open ourselves to new experiences, new ways of seeing things, and new understandings. Stone 3. Question. I question every experience. A fool can make a rule, and any fool will mind it. Even though I am open to other religious or other experiences, it doesn't mean that I accept everything that comes to me in the name of religion or spirituality as ultimate truth. I question, doubt, mistrust, and have misgivings concerning new paths that claim to lead home. I am willing to try new things to see if they fit, but I will also enter the experience with any reservation and hesitation that seem appropriate. Many people have been deceived by religious charlatans. By carefully weighing new experiences and checking with my inner wisdom, the voice of reason and common sense, I filter out the paths that lead down rabbit trails and discover roads that keep me focused in light and love. I especially apply this approach to the information provided by religious recovery. Stone 4. Discern. It is my responsibility to discern what works for me and what does not, always remembering that what may not resonate with me today may resonate at some other time. Carrying the idea from Stone 3 a little further, I discern the highest and best for my spiritual life. Often this is a matter of trial and error repeated by more trial and error. A spiritual concept presented in the teaching of Buddha, Krishna, Moses, or Jesus may not resonate with me today. Maybe I'm not ready to hear what is being said. Maybe I misunderstand what is meant. I lay it aside for now. The silence of my inner voice does not always mean there is no truth or spiritual assistance in what is said. It may mean that I am to wait. The information may come to life at a later time, but it may never resonate with me. I accept that my road will never be exactly the same as another's route. I take responsibility for discerning what works for me and what doesn't. Stone 5. Connect. Not only will I try to discern through mental activity, but I will also discern by connecting with the divine through prayer, meditation, and contemplation. Mental activity helps us in many ways. I use common sense to guide me in many of my decisions. But in addition to common sense, I recognize other ways to discern spiritual truths. 3 methods that provide spiritual guidance are prayer, meditation, and contemplation. I connect with the divine not only by reading and listening to spiritual instructions, but also by stilling the activity around me and going within to the spark of the divine that is within my soul. Each of these 3 forms of communication has its own strengths. By developing a consistent practice, I discover which of these forms works best for me, which one meets my needs, and which ones I need to develop more. Stone 6. Be. Letting go of past hurts, disappointments, and abuses, and letting go of future plans and expectations, I resolve to live in the present moment and simply be. Be present, be open, be available, be with higher self. The practice of living in the present moment is difficult. My mind drifts to past events, often with regrets or disappointments. When my mind drifts to the future, I often frame it through the eyes of the past, and so shape my future in ways I do not want to. To be present, to be in this moment of time, without thoughts of the past or future, that is a quality sought after by gurus and meditators everywhere. Our minds hold thousands of thoughts, and to be able to silence those thoughts long enough to listen to our higher self takes determination and practice. The essence of spirituality lies in finding that still small voice that knows instinctively where to go, what to say, and what needs to be done at any given moment of time. Letting go of the past also entails forgiving ourselves and others of all grievances. When we fail to forgive, we carry those grievances into the present moment, and we also extend them out into the future. Stone 7. Feel. I allow myself to feel. My emotions are part of my being. By allowing myself to feel, I heal and grow. I will feel. Feelings set us apart from other beings. I will not ignore them. I will allow myself to experience the gamut of emotions, even those feelings some deem negative. Emotions allow us to heal from hurtful situations, to learn, and to change when needed. The positive emotions of love, joy, peace, kindness, contentment, and happiness provide opportunities for spiritual growth. I seek those emotions and choose to experience them, and whenever possible, I endeavor to center my being in these emotions in an effort to share them with my brothers and sisters. Stone 8. Release. After experiencing all feelings, I release any emotions I deem harmful to my spiritual path. I release all emotions that inhibit spiritual growth. I do this through forgiveness, meditation, and by asking the divine to help me exchange negative, hurtful thoughts for loving, forgiving, healing thoughts. Even thoughts I deem positive can at times be harmful. Laughter has healing qualities, but when I laugh at someone instead of laughing with them, I may cause them pain. I examine the feelings that show up in my life to discover if they are born of love or fear. I choose to let love guide me in dealing with my feelings. Whenever I make mistakes, I seek forgiveness. Stone 9. Transform. By changing my thoughts, I transform my life. I choose to change my thoughts concerning past experiences that hold me in pain. I choose to see them from a higher perspective. When I change my thoughts concerning a situation, I give myself permission to change my feelings and my life. I remember times when I felt anger and rage spewing out of me when I was in the middle of an argument. When that happens, after enough time has passed to give me perspective, I go back over the situation and examine it to determine what created those feelings. It's not long before I see the situation in a different light, and I am able to release the anger and laugh at my behavior. What made the change? My thoughts created the incident, and I replaced them with new thoughts that turned a negative experience into a positive one. If we can see things the way the divine sees them, we will laugh more and fight less. Stone 10. Harmonize. I look for the harmony in all spiritual belief systems and seek to add my voice to the music of the earth. I seek peace with myself and with all people. I find the things I seek when I search for harmony. In the past, I may have heard only discord among the world religions with little or no harmonious music to blend them together. I choose to listen for the music of the earth, and if need be, to help create the song that blends us into one family. I seek peace. The search begins with myself and extends from within to without. Being at peace with myself allows me to be at peace with others. Being in conflict with myself creates conflict in the world. Music has the potential to bring the world into harmony. I add my voice and choose to harmonize with life. Stone 11. Laugh. I choose laughter as the notes of my song. This temporal life is a journey to be enjoyed. I look for the comedy in situations, and I learn to laugh at my own comedy of errors. The songs that bring peace and harmony to the world contain the notes of laughter. As I laugh, the world laughs. My life on this plane of existence is only a short journey. I choose to make it a fun ride and laugh at myself and my circumstances. The greatest weapons against hatred, violence, and war are love and laughter. Mark Twain wrote, "Against the assault of laughter nothing can stand. Our world will not be united by religion, philosophy, debate, or mandate. Love and laughter are the weapons of peace. I will wield my weapons with reckless abandon." Stone 12. Thank. I am grateful. Gratitude helps me bring out the positive in my life and also makes room for the divine to bring additional positive situations, people, and spiritual experiences into my life. I thank those who have guided me on my path. If you want happiness in your life, learn the art of gratitude. And it is an art. We show gratitude and grace not only by the words we say, but by the lives we lead. We thank people for their help and influence, and we pass it along by allowing positive change to make us better people. To live in a place of gratitude is to live in the realm of the divine. Many religious belief systems incorporate the practice of worship, which can be as simple as paying respect and giving thanks to the divine. Whether the divine needs our thanks isn't the issue. The point is that when we offer thanks and live in gratitude, it improves our quality of life and our sense of well-being and brings about peace. When in conflict with a person, finding ways to express genuine gratitude endears that person to us. It's difficult to stay angry when someone is telling you how much you mean to them and how grateful they are to have you in their life. The same principle works with religions and nations. Discovering the positive, concentrating on similarities, and expressing gratefulness for those qualities breaks down walls and opens lines of communication and makes peace possible. Stone 13. Love. I learned to deepen my ability to love when I learn to tolerate, accept, embrace, and forgive. I choose to employ these attributes to my spiritual walk, to my personal relationship, and to my worldview. Aristotle wrote, "Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies." I would add, divine love is composed of the divine soul inhabiting all bodies. I recognize the love of the divine soul that inhabits my body, and I also choose to recognize that divine soul in the body of every individual. Recognizing the divine love in all beings, I will tolerate, accept, embrace, forgive, and love myself and my brothers and sisters everywhere, no matter their beliefs. Every day I decide love is the way I will live my life. So I just thought of something, and I'm going to throw this out to you, Wayne. I don't know if you're listening right now or if you'll answer this later. These 13 stones, have you ever seen at a... I was at this shop in Bloomington, downtown Bloomington. I love little college towns, university towns, because they have the weirdest little shops, the greatest, most wonderful little shops with things that you can't get anyplace else. Things about open-mindedness, things about knowledge, that are just wonderful, wonderful things. And at this shop, when I was at Bloomington a couple weeks ago, they had these painted stones that had a word on them. Love or hope or peace, thankfulness. Have we ever thought about having a religious recovery meeting? And I'll talk about exactly what the religious recovery meetings are again at the end. Have we ever thought about having a religious recovery meeting where we paint some of these stones with these words? I think it would be a great way to really solidify these ideas, assert, open, question, discern, connect, be, feel, release, transform, harmonize, laugh, thank, and love. I want to make a stone with each of them on there. I'm not an artsy fartsy type guy. I mean, I sing a little bit and I play instruments, but I don't really do arts and crafts very much. But I bet my wife would be able to do something like that, and this would be a fun thing to do at a religious recovery meeting. Chapter 13: Saving Religion. For religion to serve humanity, it must go back to its roots. Tailor-made religion. Religious organizations mold to fit the needs of current society. Rules change and doctrines are modified. Not long ago, eating meat on Fridays was forbidden by the Catholic Church. Now it is allowed. In previous times, Christian ministers in the fundamentalist movement used the fear of hell to keep their flocks in line and bring sinners to repentance. The mood and methods are changing. The current trend is to gain a following with a positive message. God is for you. He only wants the best for his children. You are entitled to be happy, healthy, and prosperous. I prefer the new message over the old, but it seems we're losing sight of the middle ground and of the basic tenets of Christianity and religious intent in general. Motivating people through fear or financial gain might work, but the deeper issues, the middle ground issues, are world peace, personal peace, love, forgiveness, contentment, and the unity of the world family. There are those who search and find the middle path, and their contribution is reshaping our thoughts and our worldview. These people come from all religions, all lands, and all cultures. Their faith is simple but strong. Their vision is clear and full of light. They are leading the way for spiritual renewal, a surge of the divine that will open the eyes of the individual. We are reminded that we are not alone, that we are on a journey home, and that our search must accommodate our brothers and sisters. In time, religion will find a middle path. As they look at the important issues and release the need for micromanaging their constituents with rules and rituals, as they concentrate more on connecting with the divine instead of funding their platforms, they will return to the basics of spirituality. Religious shift. That's shift with an F. Changing from manipulation to empowerment will be accomplished in small steps. Change must begin with congregations, and the change within the congregation begins with the leader of the religious gathering, in most cases, the presiding minister, priest, rabbi, or in the case of other world religions, the one who oversees the services. The focus moves from religious belief to personal relationships, both with the divine without and within, and also within our world family. The shift is away from organized religion and back to individual spirituality. The shift moves away from right and wrong to love and light, from righteousness to gentleness, from being right to doing things right, to doing the right thing, the kind thing. It's already happening all over the world. Little acts of kindness, little steps of tolerance, accepting what was once unacceptable, embracing our differences as well as our sameness, loving everyone, refusing to see anyone as unlovable, praying for peace, being the change we want to see, finding peace within and sharing it with others. The healing balm of laughter. A good friend once said to me, if you can laugh at it, you can live with it. In an interview Barbara Walters conducted with the Dalai Lama, what impressed me about His Holiness was how often he laughed. He was as jolly as Santa Claus. A holy man with such a great sense of humor is a nice change of pace from the religious leaders who take their work and themselves so seriously. If common sense fails to bridge the chasm of religious faiths, perhaps humor will. When we develop the ability to laugh at ourselves and find humor in everything, then, as my friend said, we can live with it. We can live with our religious differences. We laugh at everything else. Why not laugh at ourselves and ultra-serious religious beliefs? I don't think the divine laughs at us, but no doubt the ultimate being laughs with us. Who, if not the divine, created humor and laughter? I recall when my children were young and played grown-up. They set aside their usual play and become serious, mimicking the way grown-ups acted. I smiled and laughed, but my laughter was more towards myself in the silly way I must have looked in their eyes. Likewise, we can take a step back and see our lives in the light of the way the divine sees us. When we talk about religion, we become serious, somber at times, and I wonder if it doesn't cause the divine to smile at the way we portray what we think spiritual or religious behavior should be. When we squabble and fight like little children, I wonder if the divine doesn't shake his head, chuckle, and wonder, when will they ever learn? Laughing at someone can be cruel, but this is not the type of laughter we're considering. We reflect on the healthy laughter that lightens our mood and shines light on our path. One of the best things that could happen to religious organizations would be for them to develop an institutional sense of humor. They like to make rules. Why not make it mandatory for their flock to laugh at least 6 times a day? And if you fail to meet the quota, your penance would be to watch I Love Lucy reruns or Seinfeld episodes. Perhaps I'm being too hard on religion, sorry. But it's time to take a lesson from the Dalai Lama and chuckle, laugh, and enjoy life. I believe religion has the greatest potential and opportunity to create the change that will move us into greater love and understanding, but with or without the cooperation of religion, change is upon us, and spirituality is lightening the road home. So I hope you can see, just by that last paragraph that I read, religious recovery is not anti-religious in any way. In many ways, we very much seek to recover religion, not just recover ourselves from damage hurt by religion, but we also seek to recover religion. I mean, we're not going to start any kind of an institutional church or any kind. We're not going to start a religion ourselves, but we do seek on an individual basis, one person at a time, to recover religion, to help religion recover, just as we help ourselves recover. So the way that we do that, we have these 12-step groups that meet several places. We have 3 different places that they meet right now in person, in Indianapolis, Indiana, in Columbus, Ohio, and in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have 3 separate groups right now. If you're not in one of those areas, we still would love to have you be a part of religious recovery. Basically, at these groups, sometimes we talk about one of the books. There's a few different books that religious recovery has put out that Wayne Holmes, our founder, has put out. And you can purchase these on Amazon. Sometimes we talk about things in the book. Sometimes we just talk about our lives in general. A lot of us have a lot of hurt, and it takes time. It takes time. I mean, we deal with an anonymous model, but at the same time, sometimes we really get to know each other and care about each other, and really want to see how we see how we are proceeding down our paths and celebrate as we go further down the path and find this recovery. So if that seems interesting to you, if that's something that you would like to do, then once again, there are groups in Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio, and would love to connect you there. Just put some information in the comments down here. I'm sorry, Wayne. It says not Columbus at this time. I'm sorry, that was in the newsletter, or not a group, but there's like some one-on-one meetings or something like that, right? we have a newsletter also. So if you're interested in a religious recovery meeting, put your information in the comments, or just send a message to Religious Recovery, or go to our website at religiousrecovery.org. A couple other things that I want to go to. We do have a newsletter that goes out on a weekly basis. It goes out once a week. Usually I think on Tuesdays is when it goes out. And if you are interested in getting the newsletter to see what's going on within religious recovery, and there's always like a short piece of several paragraphs. I don't know what you call it exactly. I mean, I know using the Christianese lingo that I grew up with, it was a devotional, but it's not a devotional. Whatever it is, a short reading. That's usually very good about something within religious recovery. If you are interested in getting our newsletter, then please just put your information in the comments, or send us a message, or go to our website, religiousrecovery.org, and we will connect with you. We will get that for you. I also want to announce right now, this is really early to announce this, but this is the second to last week of Religious Recovery Live. The next week is the last week of Religious Recovery Live, and we're already thinking about the things that we're going to be doing next as far as this goes, and what we're going to be doing. I told you that Wayne has a few different books. The other books that he has, there's a book that's has daily meditations. What we're going to do is we're going to go through some daily meditations one time a day, maybe put out one or two of them a week, as a podcast. And this is going to be a religious recovery podcast that you'll be able to sign up for, and they'll just be short little episodes, and it'll have one reflection each day, and you could listen to them as they come out, or you could wait until they're all available and then listen to them then. But it's just something that you can reflect on each day. We're going to have a couple of events coming up here. We're going to be Religious Recovery is going to be at. There's a Pagan Pride Day in Indianapolis on September 23rd that we're going to be at, and there's also the Festival of Faiths that is October 15th in Indianapolis. There's some events also in other locations, but if you want to check us out, especially around the Indianapolis area, then please come check us out at those. For other information, please contact us on this page or religiousrecovery.org. All right. Once again, my name is John Weldy. I don't know if I ever said my name throughout the entire video this time. My name is John Weldy, and I'm just a guy. I'm a part of Religious Recovery Indianapolis chapter, and I thank you for listening.